One of the first videos that I ever made on this channel was a tattoo tour where I just go around and talk a little bit about all of my tattoos. You can go watch it if you want, but honestly it's kind of cringe. Don't worry, I plan to make an updated one sometime in the future. I miss getting tattooed, not physically, like I miss just, you know, seeing my different ideas come to life and having them on my body. I haven't been tattooed in a while. I've been thinking about it, it's been on my mind. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my tattoos. I have about 6 studio tattoos and about the same number of stick and pokes, I think. I don't feel like counting all of my tattoos right now. I feel like most of the social circles that I find myself in are like areas that tattoos are pretty acceptable, and just like the media that I consume and stuff, so I just kind of forget sometimes that there's still people out there that might not like tattoos. Well, I don't exactly forget that, but like it's not something that I think about in my daily life when I'm looking at my tattoos, you know? I just like follow and watch and keep up with so many like tattooed creators and like tattooed celebrities and I don't know, people in the tattoo world. I mean, I don't think I'm very heavily tattooed. I think I'm very like medium to light on terms of like being tattooed, but yeah, sometimes I forget there might be people that look at me and go like, whoa, she's tattooed. When I got my first tattoo, my little like moon on my ankle, just such a simple little basic tattoo. I was 19. I think I was like the first person out of like any of my friends to get tattooed. I think I might be mistaken, but every like social gathering I went to, I would like specifically show my tattoo. It was such a big deal and I was like, everyone look what I did. And some people definitely thought it was cool. Some people were like, well, I'm not really into tattoos, but that's like a little one, so it looks fine. One of my friends at the time said something like, you wouldn't put a bumper sticker on a Ferrari. After I got the little moon done, my next plan was to get roses, which I did eventually, but I wanted to get roses. I knew that was my next thing, and I was like, should I get it on my arm or should I get it on my thigh? And I remember one of my guy friends was like, you should get it on your thigh because it's more like feminine. And then he said something like, I had a female friend with tattoos here and like across the chest, and like it just doesn't really like look feminine. And believe it or not, that conversation definitely made me want to get it on my arm even more, because I was like, screw that, screw looking feminine. When I worked as a waitress and I was in my little skimpy uniform, that was basically nothing. Of course I would get tons of comments on my tattoos because my body was just on display, and I would get a lot of people like asking about this one, reading it and asking about it and stuff, which is totally fine and normal. Like I've heard this from other tattooed people too. Like if you get words, any text anywhere visible, people are gonna ask you what it says, people are gonna try to read it, like that's just kind of what happens. I specifically remember a customer saying to me, wow, you have a lot of tattoos, and I was like, yeah, and they were like, I don't really like tattoos, and I was like, okay. I remember someone making fun of me for my bad stick and poke. I remember being roasted about that, like actually quite a lot. Basically, if you're someone who is maybe not really into tattoos or doesn't really understand them, maybe I can tell you a few reasons why I love having tattoos, and then you can kind of start to understand why people might get them, other than like to look cool or like, I don't know, whatever you may think. And if you are someone who does like tattoos or you have a lot of tattoos, maybe you can relate to some of the things that I'm saying. So the first thing is that the way that I view it is I collect tattoos and I see them as artwork. So instead of seeing it as a fashion statement, even though like I do think fashion and art have a lot in common, fashion is kind of a form of art, but I guess what I mean by that is instead of seeing it as like something trendy or because I want to fit into a certain like trend, I definitely see like my individual pieces as pieces of art. So like instead of buying, say like a print of that art, I buy it to be put on me permanently forever. Personally, like I love the idea of that, because if my house burns down and I lose every possession to my name, I'm always gonna have these. These are things that I paid for, these are art pieces that I like, and they're with me. I'm not gonna misplace them, they're not gonna get destroyed, stolen, they're mine, like forever. I don't know, there's something about that that I really, really like. coupled with the fact that I do really like the aesthetic of tattooed people and how tattoos look on skin, that makes me the perfect canvas for my artwork collection. All of mine are custom tattoos, so like if you don't know what that means, that just means like you have a concept in your mind and you talk about it with the tattoo artist, and you guys like come up with a unique design together to put on your body, as opposed to like flash, which is like something the artist like pre-designed, or like a design that's already out there, you know what I mean? So I really like the process of doing that, of like coming up with my idea and then seeing it come to life. I do really see it as collecting art. Like this one on my arm, for example, it was like a custom tattoo, but the artist that did this, his style is all like this, like it's all, I don't know how to describe, I'll put like some pictures of his stuff, but it's all like in the same style. So I feel like this is a piece of his art that I collected, rather than just like a random tattoo, if that makes sense. I brought him an image of a girl, just like a real life picture of a girl doing a pose kind of like this, and just said, here, like make this into your own style. And he of course added all of the like crazy hair and like the face, the eyes, like the little dots and like all the like weirdness to it that I really love, the dripping. And like the one on my leg, that tattoo artist also, their style is like all kind of the same, and I just gave them a general concept, like I want a fox with horns, and they brought it to life in their own style. So it's like I collected that piece from that artist. Not all tattoos are like that. Like my little grave right here, I definitely just like said I want a grave with only posers die in it. So not all of them are about the artist. Some of them are more about like making my own concepts. Overall, I definitely see tattoos as a collection. I hope that I can get a tattoo in every city I ever live in, because there's something like really special to me about collecting something from the different places you go and having it like permanently attached to you, you know? Some people definitely do it a bit differently than I do. Like some people, their whole sleeve is cohesive, or maybe every tattoo on their body is like completely cohesive and done by the same artist. That's really cool too, but for me personally, I do like the idea of having like a bunch of different things from different artists in different parts of the country or maybe the world one day. And even if it's just something as simple as like a rose, like some people might look at this rose and be like, oh, that's so basic. Everybody has a rose, like everybody has a rose. It's kind of true. For me, even though the rose itself doesn't have any meaning, I look at this and I remember why I got it, and I remember the time in my life, and it brings back memories. I remember taking care of it. Like, I don't know. It has like meaning in that sort of sense. Another thing that I like about having tattoos, some people's main argument against tattoos is that like you won't get a job with tattoos, or it'll hurt you from, you know, pursuing whatever career. Although like these days, I feel like that's kind of outdated. I feel like I see tattooed people in like every profession. Even so though, I've always kind of wanted to pursue something different, like, I don't know, something creative, and I feel like making my appearance in a way that might hinder me from, I don't know, becoming a lawyer or something, pushes me to pursue creative things, if that makes sense. Well, now I have to make my dreams happen. Like, now I have to make it work. But I have this like really random memory. I must have been in like high school or something, and some guest speakers came to talk to the class. I think they were part of some sort of like environmental group. One woman said, I worked at a bank and I quit my job to pursue this like environmental activism. She was like, the bank that I worked at had a strict policy against facial piercings. So I pierced my nose to make sure that I wouldn't go back there, just like by instinct, you know, to make sure I would like follow my actual dreams. And that really stuck with me like throughout my life for some reason, and I kind of like really like that idea, doing that to force yourself in a certain direction. Now, of course, these things are not like the only reason that I get tattooed. Obviously, the big reason is that I like how it looks. After all, like it is art, it is aesthetics, it is something that is part of my appearance. So yeah, I like the way it looks. I like the way tattoos look on people and on myself. But if you add my appreciation of the aesthetics to those things I talked about before, then maybe that can like make a whole picture for you about why I love being tattooed. You guys can let me know down below if you have tattoos and if you disagree or agree with the things that I said, or if you have your own completely different reasons. If you don't really like tattoos, that's fine too. You can also share your opinion on that. I'm totally open to all opinions, of course, as long as you aren't being disrespectful about it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.